finally sprung forward a couple nights ago. One little problem. Whoever was in charge of winding the spring got a little overzealous, because I think we sprung forward to January 2024. It's going to be highs of mid to upper 30s, lows in the mid to low 20s for the next couple days. Pretty much, I'm not going out and trying to fish in that. I had planned on going to the dam to grab a few skipjack and then try to get a video out of putting some blue cats in the boat, but I can't until this weather changes a little bit. I believe they're probably going to move downriver for a few days until this cold weather gets out of here. They're actually giving pretty warm weather for Thursday, but it's going to just be a one-day thing, and then it's going to drop right back down into the mid to low 40s during the day. It's March weather in Kentucky, man. You stand still 5 minutes, it'll change. That's part of it. But to get some content out, someone asked me to do a review on rod and reel for them, and it's Ugly Stik GX2. It's a 6.5 foot medium action rod with, but it's 4-piece. Okay, that's the interesting part. It's a 4-piece rod, and it has a really nice nylon zip-up case, or I'm sorry, Velcro case, that you can carry the rod and reel in it together. It has a pretty good reel on it, from what I've seen and read. It's the new. There's a new kind of, I guess, graphite mix that they're using now on the Ugly Stiks, and they have different levels of graphite mix. Some of the big water rods have got a lot of graphite in them, and when you get up into the medium heavy action in the big water, once we get out on the lake catfishing, I'll show you a couple of those. They're a pretty stiff rod. They load up pretty quick, but they've still got that real nice bend over tip on it that everybody's familiar with, that Ugly Stik, of just being able to come down and take it. But the heavier actions one, especially the big water heavy action, those rods, I don't have one of those because it's way more than I'm ever going to need. You could catch shark or grouper or whatever you want to fish with on that stuff, but it does have the old essential stuff that's Ugly Stik. It's got the clear rod that'll show up really well under white light or green light. That's what I like. It does have the Ugly Stik tough guides, so that it'll handle braided line. I don't know if any of you's ever had a problem with braided line cutting into your eyes on older rods, but yeah, if it's got the plastic eyes and you deal with a lot of bigger fish, or even if you're just dealing with a lot of heavier baits like you will catfishing, and you're using braided line for your main line, it'll cut grooves down into your eyes, into that insert in your eyes, and what'll end up happening, it'll make a groove, and you'll get a sharp edge to that groove, and you'll set a hook on a big fish, or maybe even just go to throw out a large bait, and it'll just grab that line enough to cause it to break. It'll cut it. So you kind of got to have ceramic or some kind of polymer eyes, that, like these, what they call tough guides, that'll stand up to that, because just standard plastic eyes like used to come in the old reels, they won't handle it. And like I said, it's got the new composite stuff with the fibers that they're using. Let me move the camera and get you where you can see the rod and reel coming out, and we'll take a look at it, and I'll give you my opinion from there. Alright, let's unbox this beauty and see what we got. Pay no attention to all the different colors on my table here. I do everything on this thing, from painting lures to working on guns, working on rods and reels. So that's why it's there. Well guys, it's pretty nice bag this thing comes in. It's got a nice strap. Nice Cordoba strap. It's adjustable. Looks like it's pretty strong, and the adjustment band grips good. It doesn't move under pressure. Let's see, it's got Looks like 3 Velcro tabs, just standard, probably inch wide and 2 inches long. Okay, let's see what we got in here. Here's one of the center sections. I like that matte finish. It's not a real shiny finish like some of the older ugly stick rods. I kind of like that matte finish. Not so sure about, I don't know if you can see how fine that is. That's the point coming down where one part of the rod's going to slide onto it. I would have liked to have seen double-footed guides. That would have been a whole lot stronger. But okay, there's another section, a pretty nice big eye. It's got a lot of heavy wraps right there. From you can see the difference in the size right there coming up. That's good. They done that on this other section too. I didn't show you that. I'll pull it back up there and let you see it. It's a big difference in thickness. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that. There's quite a bit of difference in thickness where they wrapped the area that's going to be sliding to put the rod together. There is the clear see-through tip. Like I said, right now the one thing I'm seeing I wish I would have seen on this that we don't have would have been double-footed eyes. That I would have liked to have seen. I like double-footed eyes. You can see even on this one there's quite a bit difference in the thickness. That little band that they built up, so that when you put the pieces of rod together, that area is going to be strengthened. Even that little section's got quite a bit of backbone. I like that. Okay. Now I'm going to pull this piece out. It looks like all that's in the bag. The bag does have a built-in pocket. That's a pretty good sized pocket. I guess if you need to keep your cell phone or your fishing license or stuff like that in it. Pretty neat little bag. I'm going to set this to the side and take a look at the business end of this baby. Okay. Loosen up that screw right there. For me, I like it this way on the left side because I am left-handed. Okay. The reel feels good. It's got positive anti-reverse. I like that. It doesn't, there's no backspin when the anti-reverse engages. It's instant. It don't move. Let's see if I can move it slowly. Yeah, it doesn't move. The most you can make it move is maybe 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch. It's really got a tight positive anti-reverse. Let's see, it's four ball bearing. Let's check some stuff. It's 5.21 gear ratio. This is the GX2 30 model. Alright, line capacity. Man, it sucks getting old and you can't see. 190 yards of 4-pound test. 140 yards of 6-pound test. 110 yards of 8-pound test. I like the little cutaway holes that they've drilled in the bottom of the spool there. Now let's check out the drag on it. Drag does have a click on it. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's tighten it down. See how the drag is. It's got a lot of drag, a lot of adjustment. Oh yeah, you could put a lot of serious drag on that reel. Pretty nice outfit. I like the body. Let's get to the rest of the rod. Let's put these back. It's got a real nice foam grip. I like that. Ugly stick on the end there. And I like that little red accent band. I don't know if it feels metal, so I don't think it's just a sticker. And then it actually says Ugly Stik on the rod that's molded into the foam itself. Looks like a really nice graphite Fuji-like reel seat. Let's see what it looks like. I'm not going to cut the zip ties. I don't know about you guys, but when you buy new rods and reels, I know that little zip tie they put on them is so nobody will, I guess, take the reel off the rod and try to steal the rod. Myself personally, I just leave them on there because I look at it this way: that's just that much more holding that reel to that seat. So what I actually do is I tighten them up as much as I can and then trim them off using my zip tie gun, which you guys have seen in my video where I made the planer boards, and that way it clips it off good and there's nothing sticking out, and it just tightens it up. And even if it comes that one ever breaks, first chance I think about it, when I'm in the shop, I grab one out of the shop, or I keep some in the boat also, and I'll just slap one right back on it just in case, because sometimes these little tighten up parts for the reel seat, they'll work their way off and you don't pay attention. You know, you're picking your rod up by that and moving it around and stuff, and it could back off and you not know it, and then a big fish hits your reel and it pops it out of there. There's a good chance your reel's going to go in the lake, because more than likely if that fish takes off and your line gets to the reel gets pulled up to that first eye without the line opening the bail, it's a good chance it's probably going to bind up, not slip the drag, and just break, and then you're probably going to lose a reel into the lake or the river or pond or wherever you're at. But I like the reel seat. The reel seat's really nice, and you can see this blank goes way back, because you can see inside the cutouts of this reel seat, and that blank goes way back. So that's a good thing. I like the design they've got on the stitching. That's another one of the signature Ugly Stik deals, where they had that, oh yeah, that reel seat feels good, where they have that stitching that's lacquered over. I can remember the old ones for back when I was a kid. Those things were pretty neat, man. I've had a lot of Ugly Stiks in my time. I've never can say that I ever broke any of them except for one, and I broke it. I closed the tailgate in a truck up on it, and it did break. I know they used to have in their commercials you could do that and it wouldn't, but now mine did. I wasn't testing it either. It just, I was being stupid. It's got a nice little place here for your hook, so you can, your lead out line, you won't have it flopping around. You don't have to put it in your eyes. You can hook it down here to get it out of the way. Well, now let's put it together and see how it feels and looks after we get it put together. Pretty nice tight fit right there. And what I'm going to do is put it down, make sure that looks like it's lined up pretty good. Let you see that lined up. It's lined up pretty good. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the other two pieces together, and then put the reel together like the rod and reel together like you would a two-piece rod, because it'll be a little bit easier to line up the eyes doing it that way, I believe. Now, I'm going to be honest that more than likely, and what my intent to do after they sent this to me, is I want to make this my skipjack rod, my main skipjack rod for sabiki rigs. And that being said, I probably won't keep it broke down into 4 pieces. More than likely what I'll do with it is I will super glue or hot glue. I'll probably use hot glue, because that super glue you doom yourself, okay? You're probably going to break it getting it back apart. The hot glue you can use, it'll hold it, and it may on occasion work loose again, but if it does, you can just put a little another dab on it and put it back together and let it seat, and it'll be good. I'll probably leave it as a 2-piece rod, because I have storage in the boat to hold it, so that's not a problem. Although I'm going to try it when I go down and fish for skipjack with it. About every 5th cast, I'm going to check these joints and see if they're starting to work loose without putting anything on. if I can get 5 to 10 casts out of this and there's no movement, the joints aren't getting pulled apart from repeated casting, you know, then I'll may just go ahead and break it down and put it in the bag. It would be a little easier to store and a little bit more handy, especially, you know, if you're out somewhere, if you're going to fish a small river that you got to walk into for trout, or even if you're bank fishing and you're going to fish for channel cats or bluegill or shell crackers or whatever. It'd be nice to have a fairly decent rod and reel, and it's Ugly Stik. They put their name on it. You can bet it's been tested a bunch. Like I said, when I get to go to the dam to try to catch some skipjack, this is what I'm going to use, and I'm going to make the second part of the review of this rod and reel, doing that. And then, like I said, I'm going to, about every 5th cast, I'm going to check these connections, see if they're working loose. See, and I'm going to be throwing 3 eighth ounce jigs with a 1/4 ounce weight on the end on a sabiki, to make up a sabiki rig, but I'm going to weight it, so I don't know if you call that a sabiki rig plus or what you would call it. But there's the whole deal put together. It actually feels pretty nice. I mean, it's got well, that answers your question. And where did it break? Right behind that top joint, right where I said I don't trust it. So guys, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna show you what I got. I put just not much at all bend on this, and it snapped. So you want my opinion? I'm gonna save it a trip to the lake. Don't buy this. If it won't take no more pressure than that to start off with, then it's got a real problem. I'm not gonna tell anyone to go buy something that does that. I'm gonna tell you straight up what happens. I'm not gonna lie about any of it for nobody. So there's my honest and very accurate review of the Ugly Stik GX2 6.5 foot 4-piece. Didn't even get line on it, and it broke. Ugly Stik, you need to do something different, because this isn't working. I mean, that's no good whatsoever. For 50 bucks, and that's what this combo was 40. They list them at Walmart's 49 something, and for the person who sent it to me, I'm gonna take it back to Walmart and either get you your money back or get you another rod and reel. If you want me to go to Walmart and get you one that's something I think will work better for you than this, because this ain't gonna work. A decent sized fish, something over 5 pounds, probably would have just a smallmouth 5 pounds would have destroyed this right in your hands. This wouldn't even been strong enough to handle 2 large skipjack. It just wouldn't do it. To be honest, I'm very disappointed in it. Very, very disappointed. Well, guys, there it is. It broke. Couldn't take any bend whatsoever, really, and snapped right in half. So that's straight up honest about it. Guys, I hope this helped you, and I hope in the future it saves you 50 bucks. Because in my honest opinion, it's not worth it. This is a Fat Man, and I'm gone. Hey guys, if you liked the video, hit subscribe. Don't forget to click that bell so you get notifications the next time we put out a video. Appreciate you. It's the Fat Man. I'm gone.